There's a spirit here that is unlike any other golf course, and I have played every private golf club in Western Pennsylvania.
Well, he was very ambitious, obviously. He took on a responsibility to build a golf course. I mean, that's a big decision to make.
Eric was a very emotional, Eric had deep friendships with people. Eric never had any surface relationships. It was, you're all in with Eric Knapp, which is beautiful. He was a beautiful person because of that. He was very transparent. He let you know what was going on the inside.
The day he passed away, he was writing me notes on jobs coming up, what to do, expenditures. Yeah, I had notes all the way to the end. It was pretty amazing. He was here every day to the end. Yeah, this was his baby.
So the spirit's alive. You know, the spirit's alive here with him.
Eric Knapp, a Western Pennsylvania home builder, had always dreamt of building his own golf course. He moved closer to that dream in the mid-90s when he purchased Sandy Hill Golf Course, a 9-hole track in Gibsonia, Pennsylvania. What many at the time saw as a run-of-the-mill mom-and-pop course, Knapp envisioned as an upscale layout reminiscent of North Carolina courses. Knapp and his small team of employees then set out to transform the dilapidated Sandy Hill into what is now Pheasant Ridge Golf Club, an 18-hole course with a brand new clubhouse and patio area. Knapp passionately and faithfully did any work necessary to improve the course, right up until he died on October 19th of 2009.
Yeah, I worked for a company in Swickley, PA called Rehosa Turf. And what we did was we traveled all over the country installing bent grass greens and tees, finished grading. And he had called my company, which we're not far from here, we're only 40 minutes. And he asked us to build the #1 green. So I came in with a couple guys, we started working on it. And in a week we had it pretty much together, done, ready to sod. And after the work involved, he pretty much said, it's a lot of work, there's a lot going on here. And he pretty much offered me more than I was making. I mean, we hit it off right off the bat. We turned out to be great friends, went on vacations, my wife, his girlfriends, and whoever. We all, went to Aruba, I think 7 times. We had great times, and we'd work here 7 days a week sometimes. The weather was good. And, morning to night, and just had a good time together. Never really, no animosity, just building a course, jumping in a bulldozer, or finishing this green, and yeah, it was a really good time. It was.
I met Eric about 2003 because our oldest kids went to Eden Christian Academy together. And that's where I met Eric, and I knew he was involved in this golf course at Pheasant Ridge. And, we began a friendship which lasted until his death. His untimely death in October 19th of '09. There were times where we could sit around and just cry together and go through what he was going through physically with him going from 210 pounds to 140. We had shouting matches because there was, as any friends, you compete and would be playing cards or pool and, golf and we were very competitive, and with the emotions that he was going through, things were tough, especially wintertime when he had no cash flow. But we had just any normal friendship. We had each other's backs. We loved each other. We loved each other as any friends could be, really.
And he was building homes at the time. He was a home builder. So that kind of subsidized the golf course. And we just went at it. I mean, every day. Sometimes him bringing me out some Long Island iced teas, have a few drinks, work a little later. But just being ambitious, going at it, and working hard. That's what we did the whole time.
It's obvious his work ethic from a work standpoint, from this standpoint. He worked harder than I've ever known anybody in my entire life. Not only did he own a golf course, he owned a bar, he had commercial real estate, he built some of the nicest homes throughout the North Hills. You know, these were you know, close to $1 million homes. So he had a landscaping business. He had all the equipment having a golf course, so he parlayed that into, well, why not grow grass for people? Why not put in lawns? Why not put in these beautiful yards for folks, you know? So yeah, there's no denying his work ethic.
You know, everything he did was to make his course work. You know, his home building and everything.
Oh gosh, yeah, he worked until he could no longer stand. Yeah, which was maybe just a few months before he passed. He was on machines and doing whatever he could. He loved to be on a machine. He loved to be driving in whatever machine, whether it was a rough unit or a T-mower or a greens mower, and just, and always, if he found a golf ball, if he saw a golfer out on the golf course, you know, he'd throw the golfer a golf ball saying, hey, I appreciate your business. He was always an advocate, always an ambassador for his own golf course, up until the day he passed.
He wanted to see it complete, and it was right around the time of his passing when it was complete and just starting, you know, to work, just starting to come together. And so I said, I wish he was around today to see the finished product, you know, how things look, and I know he'd be very pleased.
You know, Eric knew this was going to happen, so he wouldn't be surprised. I mean, this is exactly what he envisioned.
Like I said, this was his place, his dream, and it always will be. I mean, this was Eric Knapp's golf course, and it is today. And everybody comes here and remembers him, you know, remember how great he was, and loves playing here. And I think his legacy is this golf course.
Years ago, I played here when it was called Sandy Hill. I believe at the time it was a 9-hole course, and it was fairly ratty at the time. The people in the clubhouse were a little obnoxious, and the parking lot was gravel and mud.
I got to play Sandy Hill. Was a couple of old people owned it, and you put the money in the doorway in a little tray, and that's how you paid your green fees.
The Sandy Hill was just some push-up greens, and I think he cut the greens with a rotary mower, so it really wasn't, it was just like a pitch and putt kind of thing. Really small greens. I mean, it was just for more practice than anything. I don't even know if you can really putt on the greens. They weren't really playable. They were maintained pretty high. So it was, you know, it needed redone, that's for sure. It was just like a pitch and putt kind of thing is really all it was. This house here, the right side of the house, that used to be the pro shop. The second pro shop, the first pro shop was this little shanty right here. This used to pull down and you put your money in there. That's how people played when they golfed. It was all in this door. It's been here forever. This was the #1 tee of the original Sandy Hill. You stood here, you can see what's left of it, the square. And the hole went out over what is now the driving range and dog leg to the left. Of course, the driving range is way up there now, and #9 green is in between what it used to be, #1. So this was the original #1 hole right here. And what's left of the tee, you can still see the square. So this is the new #1 hole when I first got here on day one. That's the hole he wanted me to build. So if you look to the left, there's 2 mounds over there behind the cart path only sign. Right between them 2 mounds was where the original green was at. It was just a little push-up flat spot there. And I dug it out and made 2 mounds out of it, cut the bank down and pushed all the dirt back to build the green, the #1 green back there. It was probably an average of 5 guys. I mean, most of it was 3 guys in a bulldozer, a couple guys on tractors. You know, we had the right equipment to do the right work. Obviously, we raked some fairways, which was rough. You know, that's why it took 7 days a week. But the layout was there, and he had the property adjacent to it. It was part of the package, so we were able to remove, you know, the other half of the course, which was all woods when I got here. We were able to tear it all out, you know, put the holes in where we wanted them. Pretty amazing when you think about it. I mean, 5 guys build an entire 18-hole golf course. It's pretty amazing. I mean, the guys were great to work with, all of them, and that's why it worked out well, because everybody worked great together. And we did it, we put it together, and you know, it is what it is today. It's a great course. Right here in the clubhouse, you know, he told us he had a lump in his throat and it was diagnosed as cancer.
He self-diagnosed it, and he stuck his fingers down his throat, knew he had something that shouldn't be there, and it was throat cancer.
He said his father had throat cancer at the same age. He passed away from it, so Eric told me he never smoked because of that, and he ended up getting it anyway. So it was very sad.
So that's when I really got involved in it. What can I do to help? How can I help you, Eric? You know, and I didn't get paid, just was there as a friend, and just helping him through this thing. And
we just tried to support him through the whole process and stayed with him. And
he just went courageously. He fought it courageously, and he had months where he looked as if it was over, you know, or he was going to die. And then there were months and seasons, frankly, years, where he would appear to have no symptoms. He was asymptomatic. So, and then the last few months, he went downhill, and he fought it courageously. He made peace with everybody. I don't think he had anybody that he needed to talk with that he didn't speak with. So I loved how he lived, and I loved how he died.
Wish he was around today, because to see what we turned this place into, I think he'd be very happy.
After Knapp died, the course struggled without his leadership.
Eric's brother was trying to manage it from California, so he hired a guy in to be general manager. Never really ran a golf course, and he just let it idle. He didn't pursue golfers or anything like that, and just made enough to get by. It was sad. I mean, I was working 12-hour days, 13-hour days, and watching it breaking even didn't make sense to me. So it was very disheartening.
Knapp's family had reached the point where they considered selling the course, but it was none other than Knapp's friend Mike Reimer who stepped in to save his best friend's beloved dream.
The family had reached out to me because the course was not doing what it needed to do. Eric had left the course to his children, and it was bleeding money. And Eric's brother Harry, who was the executor for the children's money, had called and says, you know, we're going to sell a course. It's just not making money. Would you like to buy it? So that's when I, you know, looked hard at it for a few months in 14 and decided to go ahead. And we have an ownership group which involves myself, Joe Zasek, my current superintendent, and the 3 children of Eric. So it's fantastic that his family's still involved in it, and 2 of his great friends, one guy that built it with him, and one friend of his and me.
And of course, when Mike came in, he's gung-ho, bringing in outings, you know, people, and he made it boom. He really came in and took over, took it by the reins, and really made this place take off. So it was a great transformation to finally see it turn into what it should have been in the beginning.
Well, I came in very open-minded, open hands, open arms, open ears, because I knew nothing of the golf business other than playing golf, playing in a lot of events. I was hopeful that it was going to be profitable. And again, like I said earlier, it has to be, because I would have exited stage left had it not been profitable. But that first few months, March, April, May of 2014, before my commitment, you know, of my time and effort and as an owner, a part owner, I needed to see it first. So after that few months, I realized, okay, this is going to be, that we can make this thing work. And so then my expectations were formulated. I expected to be the best. I want to be the best. I asked Joe Zasek what it's going to take to be the best. I don't want to compete in a market where we're just average, you know. My expectations were we were going to be the best golf course in our market for our price point, and we are.
Yeah, we're packed, you know, daily. Weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, forget it. You got to get a tee time the week before. So it really made it take off. People enjoy the course, and it's been really good.
Sandy Hill was nowhere near. This is, if you would to have pictures of what it was and what it is, you wouldn't believe it, because it's just, the transformation is phenomenal. I mean, you have a great golf course here now, and with the little bit of 9 holes you had, it was just, I can't even remember how bad it was, but it was a place that if you wanted to go and a quick 9 holes, and it was very inexpensive. But I only played here once or twice, because there were other courses further up in Butler that I liked to play, and I just passed here. And then, like I said, my son told me, "Dad, you got to go to Sandy Hill because you won't believe it." And it was a transformation that I really, really enjoyed. And once I came here, I saw it. It reminded me of Myrtle Beach a lot, and I fell in love with the place, and I've been coming here ever since.
The boys, the past 2 years, have gotten a junior membership, and last year they pretty much came every day, and this year probably more of the same. My younger 13-year-old golfed more this year than he did last year, so they've made some significant improvement in the time that they've been coming here.
Yeah, the greens are really nice. They putt true, they hold the ball well. They seem to want to put money into the course. They put all new cart paths in this year, and it's just a nice course all around.
They've been very supportive, you know, of junior golfing in general. So they're trying to accommodate them, and saying hello to them, you know, being very friendly to, you know, you don't always have that good camaraderie with the ownership and teenagers, and they are able to provide that there.
Everybody here is just very, very nice, and it's a pleasure to come here. It's like coming to see your friends. That's the way it is, and that's the way they treat you, like you're a friend.
He would be very tearful. Eric would, if he were just to arrive on the spot here. But after choking back the tears, I think he would be like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I knew it was going to be."
I think he'd be very pleased, happy every day, and I'm sure we still have a great relationship and enjoy the course together, without a doubt.
When you get out of your car at Pheasant Ridge, there's just a spirit. We have it in our mission statement. We tell our golfers that we thank you for choosing Pheasant Ridge because you have choices to make, and you chose us today, so thank you. We hope that you find value for your hard-earned entertainment dollar. We hope that you find respite here for a very busy work week. And we hope that you find authentic fellowship among our employees and the fellow golfers that are out there. That's what makes it unique. It's the commitment to excellence. You come out to this golf course and you see flowers, and you see no weeds, and you see it's not over the top with anything. It's simple. It's functional. We respect that when people come out, they want to feel at peace away from their work, whatever reason they came here.